everyone, Karie Millspaugh here, visibility consultant for business owners, public speakers, and authors. I want to give you some key tips on how to take your brand to the next level with 8 simple strategies. Many of you have already created your personal brand, you're ready to really put it out there, or maybe you've been in business for a very long time and it's time to really look at that brand with some fresh eyes, some new perspective, some outside perspective. The first step I want you to do is to stop and reflect. Right before you launch, always stop and reflect. What is my brand communicating to others? And sometimes we do need to get an outside source or a stranger that doesn't know us to go, okay, land on my website, tell me what you see. Or take a look at my social media post or a video or my graphics, messaging, whatever, and get that outside perspective. A lot of times that's why I'm hired all by itself, is the outside perspective. Some people just need a quick consult to go, Karie, what do you see? Is the branding even working? Is the messaging clear? So I want you to stop and reflect before you're ready to launch. The second tip I want you to do is to Google yourself. Always Google your name, your brand name, whatever that looks like. See what pops up. What are the first images that you see? What is the first few websites? Is it your Facebook, your LinkedIn, Instagram? It should always be your website that shows up on the first or second line. If that's not the case, please talk to your web designer or PR company, whatever. If you've hired me, that's the first thing I look for too, is your website should show up pretty quickly, and at least in the first page. So take a look at that. If you see some things you don't like, there's certain tips that we include in our consulting packages on how to get rid of the negative and pull in more positive, or maybe it's an image or a selfie you took years ago at New Year's Eve and you were drunk and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that's showing up. There's ways to get around this, okay? Maybe we need to make some things private, make some things public. There's so many ways to do it, so don't lose faith, okay? Tip number 3 is to generate public relations, PR. You hear that term a lot. What is that exactly? That is a third party telling the world that you're awesome, okay? Not your mom, like some testimonial, not your sister saying you have the best business ever. It's actual third party. For example, a press release, or getting on a radio show or a blog, or getting some third party blogs out there that are going to publish your platform or your content. Maybe it's a TV show, okay? So there's a lot of things. Press release is great too. If you've got a new milestone in your business and you want to blast it out there, use press release. It's really great. Tip number 4 is to be sure people can find you. If your name is Joe Smith, you're going to have a challenge. Come up with something fun and catchy. It could be anything, like a lot of people use the word coach in their title or speaker in their title to try to generate that, or writer or author. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself too much into a box. You want to be broad with your message and brand so you can grow and expand as a person. That's what we do with our personal brand. It changes a lot. But you do want to at least make it kind of catchy, like Margie the Manifester, just throwing it out there and make it fun and just kind of grow with it. If you are stuck with a name like Mary Smith or something very similar, when you Google your name and you see that you're buried, it's frustrating. It can be disheartening. So I want to just give you hope that there's ways to go around this. There's ways to brand yourself with a unique name, or maybe use your middle name instead of your last name. A lot of people do that route too. Tip number 5, be sure to review your social media platforms. And I mean all of the platforms. If you've not used Twitter in 100 years, maybe you should take it down or spruce it up and make it current. Make sure the branding is correct. Make sure the imaging is correct. You want your cover photo to match all the other cover photos on Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever else you're playing, YouTube. You want it to be consistent so your people can find you and they know they've landed on your platform. They're like, yes, that's the same girl from Facebook, Instagram, wherever. They know it's you based on your consistent messaging. I see this a lot in all of my videos. So review your social media first, because once you start to launch something out there, they're going to Google your name. They're going to find you. What are people finding? This is so important. What are they finding? Is it consistent? Okay. I just had a call with a client earlier today, and she talked about somebody Googled her or found her through Google. some kind of connection. She landed on her website, went through all of the links, downloaded what she needed to, got on her calendar, bought her book. I mean, there's all these things, that systems that were already created, that were in place. So by the time my client got in front of this person, she was already ready to buy. It was like, or she had already purchased. So that's what you want your brand to do. Connect the dots. Make sure the links are working. Okay, that's a huge one, and that's something that we connect and correct as well. Make sure our clients are always gathering clients easily. You don't want your bait out there and then you have no way to reel it in, right? Very frustrating. Tip number 6, use LinkedIn. This is one of those formats that some people really utilize and some people don't. I think it's a great platform. It's more corporate, more business minded. It's not as personal as Facebook or Instagram, but it can still give the vibe of sharing content, articles, really showing your value. Creating a lot of content is key. With LinkedIn, make sure your profile summary is up to date, current, because that is public to everyone, not just your followers. So make sure that's got your transformation that you provide, or the business you provide, or what your customers, clients receive. What's that key ingredient that you provide that others don't? Okay, you got to see the value right away. Number 7 is to think before you post. Does this post reflect who I am as a person, my brand, my personality? It can push people away. A lot of people say never post about politics and religion. I am all about politics and religion. I am as a person. My faith is a huge part of who I am. If I hid that part of myself, I wouldn't really truly be the brand of Karie Millspaugh. Okay, so you need to reflect on that. Some people don't want to share it because they're too worried about being liked and not offending people. I actually like to work with people that are authentic and know their truth and aren't afraid to say it. So watch yourself in those general terms. I wouldn't suggest blasting people or negativity. That's not beautiful. Nobody likes negativity. No one's attracted to that. Making fun of or pointing other people or pushing other people down to make yourself look better is not going to work. It does the opposite. It makes you look like the bad guy. So be careful on how your messaging is. If you stand for something that you believe is truth, come across authentic, own it, and stay confident in your messaging. The key too is there's nothing wrong with showing a little bit of your personal side. If you love to kayak, show us your kayaking, show us your golf game, show us all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that, but still think before you post. Sometimes it's fun to share little jabs at people, or some comes across very disheartening. If people think, oh my gosh, this person's got a heart of gold, and then you're making fun of something or someone, that's not authentic, guys. That's not going to come across great. So always think before you post. Some of you need to pray before you post, okay? Let's just be real. So pause, think before you post. Does this reflect my brand, my personality, who I am genuinely as a person? Because it's going to give an impression, okay? I've never lost clients because I've truly spoken my truth. Never. If they're not meant to be with you, they're not meant to be with you, right? Just stick true to your true self. Number 8 is to show confidence, show your value, really truly own your messaging. If this is what you do and stand for, own it. Your energy is always a part of your marketing. I cannot stress it enough. You can say a lot of words and it can be a lot of fluff, but we feel the energy behind the words, behind the video, whatever that looks like, behind the image. We can feel you, all of us. You don't have to be an empath to feel people's energy. Even though I am one, you don't have to be one. Everyone feels that, okay? So watch your confidence level. If you're putting out there, I can help you make $1 million by the end of the year. If you're not really owning that, we're not going to buy it. We're not buying what you're selling. You've got to own it. I know I can get your brand out there, get you recognized. People are going to compliment you. They're going to see you in a whole new light when we get done with you. I own that. I know in order to be seen, you have to be known. That's our messaging at my marketing and my PR firm. So I own it and I carry it all the way to the bank. Okay. And my clients feel it when they're on a call with me or in my messaging and my videos. Make sure your brand does the same. We can feel an empty promise. We can feel like, this person's a little uncertain. Get certain before you post. Get certain before you launch a marketing plan. Get really positive about it. Build yourself up. We'll feel your energy. I can guarantee it. So with those 8 tips, guys, I really hope that helps you launch your personal brand out there, really get it out there, shine it bright, and own the value you bring to this planet. Big hugs, big love. Bye.